living with HIV and AIDS.
I can raise my hand, and I raise my hand to be challenged by anybody, called a professor or a scientist, who knows AIDS more than I know. There's nobody today.
The potency of his special therapy soon attracts scores of people from far and near who are found at last in a man gifted by nature. HIV and AIDS had hitherto baffled the conventional world of science and medicine, and even the president's detractors could not help wondering in bemusement as Jammeh continued to render a rare service to humankind.
As a leader, your statement must be clear to everyone. There's no ambiguity. A leader like me, who has so many detractors in and out of the country, I have to make sure that whatever I deliver to the people is clearly understood by the people.
When Jammeh offered to provide treatment for complex medical conditions like asthma, diabetes, hypertension, and infertility, the number of patients seeking to meet him increased by the day. Beneficiaries of this robust regime of treatment are a living testimony to their efficacy. With an ardent personal interest in the advancement of agriculture, rooted in his back-to-the-land philosophy, Jammeh pioneered and guided the drive to revitalize the sector. For him, agricultural mechanization is a strategic conduit to boost large-scale production. In a bid to diversify agriculture and ensure food self-sufficiency, the president has personally acquired heavy-duty farm tractors and other machinery for farmers across the Gambia. As a dedicated farmer himself, President Jammeh operates massive agricultural projects in his home village of Kanilai and in other parts of the country. From vast fields of perennial crops and extensive orchards to big gardens of vegetable produce and a wide range of animal breeds, Jammeh's agricultural projects serve as a model for all those aspiring to take up this noble. The prioritization of agriculture has been a cornerstone of the Gambian leader's success. In his view, no modern nation can prosper without an educated population and well-trained labor force. Before his arrival on the national stage, secondary and tertiary education were a privilege for many locals. But the situation saw a drastic shift toward and affordability for all Gambians. Numerous basic cycle schools, secondary and tertiary institutions across the country, with the nation's first ever university, are crowning achievements in this sector. The remarkable records the president was able to register in education in such a short time earned him a doctorate degree from St. Mary's University in Canada. Hundreds of students trained in the Gambia in various disciplines continue to graduate from the University of the Gambia every year. Another major achievement by President Jammeh in the area of education is his creation of a special project to support school-going girls to promote gender parity in education. It is part of a broader scheme to offer assistance to thousands of Gambian students in pursuit of education, both locally and internationally.
Before I went to Taiwan, I was a bit, low in knowledge. Like I was just a high school graduate. Now I'm a fully graduate petroleum engineer. So I think I'm well versed with the theoretical aspect of petroleum engineering.
Show our appreciation by giving back what given to us, even more.
With his direct personal initiative, a new network of first-class roads crisscross the length and breadth of the country. One of his first official accomplishments, the national television station, introduced a platform for education, information sharing, and the promotion of the country's arts and culture. Having joined the international satellite broadcast system, TV is poised to be the iconic representation of the Gambia everywhere in the world. The international gateway into the country is the Banjul International Airport, an imposing edifice conceived and implemented by President Jammeh as one of his pioneer projects. From West Africa's most beautiful airport, an excellent modern highway runs into the surrounding urban suburb with an impressive symmetry of streetlights extending all the way to the capital, Banjul. At the entrance of Banjul is the monumental Arch 22, a landmark symbolizing the change that Jammeh spearheaded in 1994. This trend of infrastructural development spreads like wildfire, covering every part of the country. The president has fulfilled a promise to electrify major towns and villages in provincial Gambia, and a government water supply project continues to surprise several settlements with pipe-borne water supply systems. Jammeh has been applauded and affirmed by a vast majority of Gambians. He won 3 consecutive internationally monitored elections, approved free and fair.
Do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Republic of the Gambia according to law. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Republic of the Gambia according to law. So help me God. So help me God.
From the very onset, he had the vision and foresight to institute an independent electoral commission that would preside over the conduct of national elections with a mantra of equality, fair play, and justice. With active strides to encourage political pluralism and freedom of expression, the Gambia's democratic credentials have flourished under President Jammeh. The country has reached the completion point of the Highly Indebted Poor Countries Initiative, an international measure of standard economic success. President Jammeh has served as the chairperson of the Authority of Heads of State and Government of the West African Monetary Zone, where the Gambia is among the leading performers in the convergence criteria for a single sub-regional currency. Positive stewardship, the country continues to enjoy the confidence of international financial institutions such as the World Bank and IMF for its sound financial and economic management. The Gambia strides proudly ahead of universal plans for the 2015 target of the Millennium Development Goals, thanks to the intelligent policies of a leader who has involved and inspired every productive segment of the population, especially women and youth. With key appointments, Vice President, Speaker of the National Assembly, Cabinet Ministers, among a host of other responsible government portfolios, never in the Gambia's history have women been given so much voice and recognition. Jammeh is both an agent and a figure of hope for Africa's youthful population. With initiatives of result-oriented youth development policies and programs like the National Youth Service Scheme, young people in the Gambia especially have tasted and experienced an inspiration, goodwill, and glory. In the arena of sports, Jammeh has masterminded through foresight and innovation